DHT. I was getting ready for New Year's Eve party that we were going to head out to in the hills of Oak Valley. I had not been there before, but my boss invited me. He said, "Don't worry, when you arrive, I'll have an envelope with your name on it. There will be a bonus check for your yearly quarter." After he said this, I had all smiles around my home. He told me to dress business casual, so I did, and my wife had on a slim red dress and a fancy necklace. You see, we were dressed to impress, we thought, as the boss always talked about his wife. We would finally get a chance to meet her. He said she was one of the best cooks of east of the Mississippi. "Well, we'll have to see about that," my wife said, before proceeding to get into the car to head there. Yes, we're heading there. There's some twists and turns to get to this place in the mountains. We lost signal, but when we thought we were lost, we almost got there. Turns out we're on his long driveway. We had just noticed the gate that was closed, so we pressed the button and said, "We're here for the company party," and said my name was John Steele. "Ah, yes, Mr. Steele, we've been expecting you." As I drive to the house, I see a few parked cars out there. They all look like his own personal collection. A Ferrari Spider, a Lambo Diablo 69, a Mustang, an electric car, of course, a super bike or two. So I got up to the door. I knocked on the door. His butler answers, "Ah, yes, Mr. Steele. We'll take your coat and purse, ma'am." "Oh, why, thank you. Right this way. We'll lead you to his quarters." As he's leading us, I'm in awe of the goth stairwell and all the heads of the dead animals on the wall. He had one inside of a box with a note that said, "Do not open, only on New Year's 2024. I was like, that's tonight. Well, I'll have to ask him about that when I get to the door. Before he was knocking, he opens the door and says, "Well, hello there, Mr. Steele. Yes, this is my wife, Bella." "Where's your wife?" "Well, she's down in this wine cellar getting some of the finest red wine from 1899. He says, "Well," then she appears from a door that opened from the library. She walks out in a red dress similar to my wife. And yes, you two look like twins with those dresses on. I do see the resemblance now, even down to the red diamond earrings. I do say, where are all the other guests? I sent them out an email the other day, but I guess I must not have gotten to them. All right, I guess we'll let it pass." Give me his strange smirk on his face, and his wife says, "No. Who wants a glass of this finest red wine?" He holds up a glass and she says, pours it, and then she's like, "Wait, before we drink it, we must get the cheese. Please, dear." "May I go get it?" "If you must." So she goes and gets it, cuts it, and hands us pieces. We take a quick look at it. We can see something crawling, so we throw it down on the ground and almost vomit. She says, "What's wrong, dear?" As she takes another bite and pulls the rest on her plate and washes it down. We are disgusted with the cheese. We ask to go to the bathroom, which they lead me to it. My wife is still back there. She could seem to handle it, unlike me, so I'm going to the bathroom. What looks to be some old fancy time sink with some bowl, looks like from the 1800s, with some cracks, a small mirror that indeed needed to be replaced. So I thought, let me see if there's anything strange with this mirror. So I run my fingers along the side of it. There is a bottom on there, so I push it, and then the floor opens up, and I pull the rug back and open the door. It takes all my might to pull it up, but there's something down there. There's some stairs that leads down there. So I pull my phone flashlight out to see. I start to head down step by step. I count. There was at least 50 steps. As I hit the bottom, I can now turn off my phone because I got to the bottom. A light had come on above me, start to flicker. So I step up towards the door. I put my ear. I start to see heavy breathing, and I look down at the bottom of the door, and I see a shadow of light disappear. But then all of a sudden, all the light from the door becomes back to appear, and I was there, just something huge. Then I hear it walk back and forth, bang on the door, now making some dents in it, and I'm so afraid. So now I start to head back up the steps. I start heat wailing on the door, smashing, getting closer, knocking down. So I still try to force on, step by step, start counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As I get closer to the top, I can see the light, so I keep going. There's only 2 more. As I start to reach the top step, I quickly reach for the lid, but then there's my wife approaching me and says, "Where have you been?" Well, it's a long story. Now let's get back to the party. What do you mean? Me and the boss and his wife. Not a party. Oh, wait. Let me go get back to Butler. No. Lead us to your quarters. Early, honey. Would you stop running your mouth? I would not take kindly to that. Now, will you straighten up? Mr. Steele, if you want your check, now let's see. 10 seconds till midnight. Now we're all gathered in the living room to watch the ball drop. Alright, here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. The ball drops, and I look at a strange mount on the wall, and it had the countdown, and the box was opened, and the strange grass steamed from it. It smelled horrible. It covered my nose, and then it was all coming out, the wind blowing. It all started forming a body. It's hard to make out at first, but then it's coming to focus. I cannot believe my eyes. It's a direct copy of myself. But then I hear my boss go, "Mr. Steele, go forth now," and it starts to walk, and it grabs my wife by the throat. Super tight grip. Before I could do anything, she passed out. Now, Mr. Steele, we are going to need you to come with me. Now he holds out his hand. I quickly pull out a knife and get out in survival mode. I go and grab my wife, but then quickly the copy gets right behind me, and he starts to grab my neck, but then I manage to break it loose. I do quickly scan the areas and look for some sort of water source, but then I throw the water on the hologram and it starts to glitch out now. Then the boss, "What kind of BS is this? Now I'm getting out of here," and we leave. "Come on, Bella. Now, Mr. Steele. Babe, don't call me now. We're going. Now, let's get out of here." As I'm dragging her along, we're getting in the car to head down the mountain. As we're getting down the bottom, Bella starts acting funny. "Come on now, Mr. Steele. Let me take the wheel." Now she grips the steel steering wheel, and now the one is on my throat. And now we're waving back and forth down to the end of the mountain. I manage to pull into the gas station, but then it happens to run into the pumps, and the car goes kaboom. But I happen to survive and pull my body out of the wreckage. But when I even try to use the payphone, all you hear is my name, Mr. Steele. Mr. Steele. Mr. Steele. Be sure to comment, like, and subscribe.